A lot of people here know you from obviously the Happy Planet Index.
Yeah.
Now that it seems so simple that why did no one put these two factors or these three factors together before? How did that come into being?
I once tried to write an article on that because it's like you nearly have an idea before you have it. I don't know if you noticed that. You sort of, ideas come, ideas have you, I think, more than you have ideas. And it's, so I'd done a lot of work on sustainability indicators before. There's a bit of work that I did. It's called the Index for Sustainable Economic Welfare. In the US, it's called the Genuine Progress Index. It's sort of not used that much now, but I did the UK version of that. It was a big statistical beast. I think we had about, me and Professor Tim Jackson, he wasn't professor then, but Tim and I did it, and I think we had about 80 interconnecting Excel spreadsheets to create that. It was hugely complex. And you came up with one number at the end. And when you've worked that closely in it, you know every single assumption in it. And it's absolute rubbish at the end, the number at the end, because you know the complexity of it and the assumptions you make introduces so much error. So I wanted to do something simpler. And I was I was actually at a talk by a Dutch guy, Ruud Veenhoven. So some of you may have heard of Ruud Veenhoven. He's sort of done a lot of work on happiness over the years. And he was at a conference and he put up that we'd never had life so good. He said, if you go back to like Stone Age time, people's life expectancy was very short. We don't know very much about their happiness. Through the sort of, the last sort of 1,000 years, people's life expectancy has increased a lot, particularly since about 1850, as we've got hygiene and those things sorted out. People are much happier now than they must have been before. So we've never ever had it so good. And I turned to the person next to me and I said, yeah, but we're fucking up the planet. And something in my head there went, there's something in there about the cost of producing well-being. And that was about a year before I came up with the idea. And then a year later, I was working on a project with WWF, and I wanted to do a big survey around people's environmental values and about how they were linked to their experience of life. And I put together a proposal, and I don't know, it was about £40,000, and WWF rejected it. So they didn't want to spend that money, and I was like, okay. And so the press officer at NEF said, we need you to just create something simple with numbers, Nick, to sort of like hold this report. And I was walking my dog, and there's a place I walk, well, I don't live there anymore, but you walk to the top of the hill, and it's an old Iron Age fort, and people have been there all the time. But you look out across the plains, and there's Didcot Power Station, which is a huge cooling towers and everything. And I used to often think about the fact that, creating this coal-powered power station is what powers our lives, and yet it's a cost on our landscape. And something in my head, because I was thinking about the statistics, went, cost, oh yeah. I almost ran home to my computer because I then had the idea that I should put happy life years, which was Ruud Veenhoven's indicator for well-being, and I should divide it by ecological footprint. And I scrambled through my computer, got data together for well-being, got data to ecological footprint, divided one by the other, and I found out immediately that Latin America came top of this indicator, and I thought, that is interesting. And so I took the idea to NEF and WWF, and NEF went, this is far too profound an idea for us to attach it to this little report on environmental well-being. Let's just publish the report and we'll do something different with it, and then it became the Happy Planet Index.